Hey guys, welcome to lesson 14. Today we talk about the number line. We went over this several lessons ago. And basically you've seen this. There are actual uses for this like, temperatures or, bank books and all kinds of things like that. There are, uses for negative numbers. We'll come to that more as the year goes on. But positive numbers will be on the right side of the number line. And you can tell, but remember what a line is? It just goes off in infinite directions. There is no limit to the number of positive numbers. They just keep going and going and going and going. You can always add one to any number, no matter how large it is. Same way with negative numbers. You can always subtract one from the smallest, tiniest numbers you can possibly think of. Just subtract one more, and it's even smaller than that. So that is called the origin, the zero. So just remember that. Opposites, anytime you see a number like, let's say, 3, you can go over, in other words, it's 3 to the right of the number of the origin. And the opposite of that number will be just a mirror image of that, 3 to the left of the number line. There you go. Okay. You should know this word, by the way, integers. An integer is a number that includes every number like this, all the way as far as you can go. Then all up, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, 1, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Now some people call this kind of casually, whole numbers or whatever, but we know already whole numbers, that's a different set of numbers in math. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But integers, it comes from a Latin word that means whole, funnily enough, like some Roman soldier that still has all his arms and legs and all of his whole head attached to him after the battle. So anyhow, the word integrity is related to that word. It's like you have your whole reputation is completely intact because you were completely honest and so on. So these are integers. When somebody says integers, sometimes in a set, it'll look like this, like it goes on for infinity. And -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and it just keeps going on infinite in both directions. Those are integers. That's a specific kind of number in algebra. Okay, let's mess around with a couple of these. By the way, messing around with negative and positive integers is very important to being able to be successful in math, especially higher math in high school and in college. So you want to make sure you really know these really well. Now I've noticed, because what we're going to do is we're going to mess around subtracting and adding negative and positive numbers. Now one thing I've noticed, if you do not know, now if I say 13 minus 5, your brain should have said immediately 8, like that. 13 minus 5 is 8. 14 minus 9 is 5. 12 minus 6 is 6. You should know those immediately. Knowing those will help you a lot with being quick at negative numbers because they're all very related. Remember those family, like the fact family things we talked about before? Same kind of a thing. Okay, so let's arrange these numbers in order from least to greatest, 0, 4, -3. And when you look at a number line, if you compare two numbers, the number that is to the right of another number is greater than, and a number that is to the left of another number is less than that number. So when you see 0, let's just mark them. 0, there's a 4, and there's a -3. Okay. In order from least to greatest means we're going to start with the one that is farthest to the left. So in order is -3, then 0, then 4. Now some kids get confused like, wait a minute, 3 is bigger than 4, but -3, 3 is bigger than 0, but not -3 because it'll be on the left side of 0 on the number line. Okay. Let's look at another one. Compare -2 with -5. In other words, we're going to use one of those greater than, equal to, or less than symbols. So -2 is here, right? And -5 is here. So which one's greater? The -2 is, right? That can be confusing at first because, wait, what? 5 is bigger than 2, but a -5. In other words, what's colder, you might say? Is -5 colder or is -2 colder? Or is -2 warmer or -5 and so on? You can say warmer is greater, like a greater temperature. So in this case, -2 is going to be greater than -5. All right. Subtract 6 from 4. Now, Saxon mentions this, that when you say this, order is very important. So we're not saying subtract 4 from 6. That's easy. That's just 2, right? But we're subtracting 6 from 4. So in other words, this is the problem that we have. Subtracting 6 from 4. So if you start with 4, and let's say if somebody said subtract 1 from 4, you would just go 1. Oh, that's it. 1. What's 3? But if you do 6 from 4, you're going to have to go back 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. There you go. So the answer to this is -2. So 4 minus 6 is -2. Now, if you notice this, just those numbers, does it look familiar like one of those, kind of fact families that you see? You can go, oh yeah, 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6, and so on. It's a good clue. Knowing your tables very quickly is going to help you do this without having to use a number line for the rest of your life, which could be 30 or 40 years of taking this if you're a typical homeschooler. Okay, what number is 5 less than 1? Well, we just go to 1. Like this, if that helps. 5 less than that, you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So there's your answer, -4. In other words, 1 subtract 5 is equal to -4. And again, you notice the 4 and the 1 and the 5 are in that family together. Okay, we'll talk more about that as the year goes on. Okay, try the practice problems for problem set 14. That is on page 70. There's a ton of them. So let's do one at a time. So try A and come back when you're ready. Okay, A, -8 is less than -6. Try B and pause it. Okay, I mean, we've talked about this. Be -8 is what you could say. All right, pause it and try C. Number that's the opposite of 3 is -3. It's exactly as far away from 0 on the number line as 3 is to the right. All right, pause it and try D. Okay, least to greatest, -3 is the least. In other words, it's the lowest temperature. It's like, or it's the worst your bank statement could be. Oh, you have -$3. Oh no, -3, then -1's the next highest, then 0, then 2. All right, pause it and try E. Well, the number is 5 less than 0. You can look at a number line and say that's -5. There we go. Okay, try F. Pause it. 10 less than 5. Well, I'll be darned. Look at there. It's the same thing, right? You start at 5 and you move over 10 to the left. If you just move it over 5 to the left, it'd be 0. But 5 more to the left would also be -5. Okay, so let's go to G. Pause it and try G. Okay, 5 minus 8 is -3. If you start at 5 on the number line, go to the left 8 times, it will give you -3. Now again, do you see the relations, like the family, the factor, or the fact family? 5, 3, 8, they're all related. We're going to get into that. Okay, pause it and try H. All right, that'll be -4. 1 minus 5 is -4. Pause it and try I. Are they all integers? Yes, they are. They are right there. They're classifying all of those as integers. The only one you might have, I'm not sure if a 0 is. Yeah, 0 is considered an integer. All right, pause it and try J. There you go, -12. Pause it and try K. There we go, -186, right? Okay. Last one, pause it and try L. Okay, -225, right? In other words, how much far down did it go? It went down $2.25. There we go. Okay, all right. Should be interesting today to do these problems. Give them a whirl, do the best you can, and check that solutions manual if you have any questions. See you next time.